When we're getting ready to build a house, what we do, we get a good foundation under it, right? Well, as we start building our business, we need a good foundation under it too, a financial foundation. And having that financial foundation means that you're looking after your cash flow, you're understanding the financing and the funding opportunities that you have for your business. That's our topic tonight, and that's where we're headed with it. This is part number 6 of an 8-part series. I'm certainly glad that you are with us. My name is Steve Carver. I'm speaking with you from my home office studio in Dunn, North Carolina. My presentation number 1208, and it's just a pleasure to have you join my entrepreneur journey and let me join with you as well. You're welcome to send me emails and requests with questions or answers, or tell me what I can do to help you start your business, get to the next step. I'll certainly be glad to do it. So either one of these email addresses work, and you're welcome to use them. And nothing I do for you has a charge on it. Just glad to help. I'm not a lawyer or an accountant, just a fellow been in business 66 years and counting. Didn't do much business today because my wife and I have been under the weather with a sinus infection, which you can probably tell from my voice. This morning I couldn't make a sound, but I've been drinking herbal tea most of the day, and it's certainly helped me out. So hang in there with us. We'll see what we can do. We're sponsored by the Small Business Center at James Brunt Community College. Joy Wynn is the director. She's a wonderful lady, does a great job, and she's looking forward to helping you. Her assistant is Leah Murphy, and she too is into the commercial business, kitchen business, and she'll look forward to helping you as well. Again, you can take a shot of this QR code and get along with it just good about signing back up. This is an important lesson in our series, and I apologize for my physical issues with my voice. So if my voice stops on me, we'll call this an abbreviated version tonight, and I may have to cut it off early. I hope not. If I can keep it going, we'll make it through. But if I do, I'll send you the video recording that we did last Thursday night of this same program, so you'll be able to watch the video and take screenshots and make it all work out for you. But hopefully we'll make it through. But if I just have to say sorry, the voice is gone, and I don't want to put you through the torture of listening to me, I'll understand that. I sent you some emails if you've been on my list, and if you haven't been on the email list up to today, like Marquita, I see you're here, and maybe some others. LaSonia, good to have you on board. I will send you emails tomorrow with all the study guides that we mentioned tonight. One brand new one that was sent to you just today, because I just finished it. Working on future presentations, I thought it was so impressive that I needed to go ahead and send it to you now so you could start reading it and memorizing it and really getting a good feel and maybe even start using it. And that's the last one pictured on the screen, which is a study guide considering how important it is about creating impressions. And I found several folks that helped me determine that we're just not going to be satisfied in making good impressions. We want to make indelible impressions. And indelible is a word that I hadn't used a lot in my vocabulary, but indeed it sure makes a presence here, because indelible means you can't erase it. It's there. It's there forever. And as we're making important relationships with our customers, these first impressions that we make and then the continuing impressions that we make later on are just so important. I wanted to spend some extra time on that. So read that study guide that's been sent to you and will be sent to you several times. In a couple of weeks, it'll be one of the topics that we'll be talking about. Tonight, all about cash flow, keeping the lifeblood of our business going and making it work. Next week, we'll get into the really important business skills of bookkeeping, forecasting, and negotiating. All of them tied together, all of them very important, and we definitely want to plan to suck up all that and learn as much as we can. Then after that, we're going to talk about the basics of taxes, record keeping, audits, dealing with the government, and some real secrets about selling I'll share with you. And that'll wrap up our Tuesday night series. And then on Thursday night, that following week on Thursday night, we're going to have a live meeting in person where I invite you all to come and meet, greet, eat, share experiences, have a short hour and a half presentation where we just have a roundtable discussion. And we'll have that in downtown Clinton, where several of you are very close to that, and maybe some of you would like to drive in so we can meet and greet each other.
Hey, Steve, I hate to interrupt. Do you already have the address and the time? Well, that way I can kind of start looking to see if I'll be able to make it.
I do have all that. I just don't have it in front of me, and I'll make sure that I send it to you and everyone else as well. And I appreciate you mentioning it. I could have put it right here on this card if I'd have thought about it, but we just love for you to come down and get to meet you. Okay? And thanks for asking, Sherry. All right, I want to show you something right here. If you can see it in my screen, I've got on my breast cancer awareness T-shirt tonight. My niece was heading up a program at the local hospitals and had T-shirts. What it's all about is just to help people be aware of the importance of getting your early test and getting checked out about breast cancer. Early detection is a key to being able to survive it, to keep on living for you and for your kids, and having a good life even after being diagnosed with cancer. My wife was diagnosed with it 7 years ago, and still kicking, still getting along. She's maybe hadn't quite got the energy she had before, but indeed she's still with us, and thank Jesus for helping us through that. Let me encourage you all to encourage folks to get early detection, be aware, reach out, feel, go get your test, and stick around as long as you possibly can for yourself and for your family. Breast cancer is an awful thing, and I hope that we can beat it and beat it where it doesn't exist anymore. But so I'm happy to give that little testimony for it and believe in it and contribute to the cause. So thank you for listening. Okay, if y'all all are good, been attending on a regular basis, most of you, good to have you. You know that if you attend a certain number of classes, in this series it's attend 6 classes, to automatically receive achievement certificates. So well prepared for us by Sarita, who's on board with us now. I'll give you a big clap. Thank you so much, Sarita. And the more you do, the more certificates you get, and we're happy to send them to you. I want to do it. Most everybody has a chance. I do keep up with attendance, and if you'll notice that I've got the yellow marks are those that have been attended over at Clinton on Tuesday nights, and the black bars, the black X's, are being attendance on Tuesday nights. So they all count. So whether you're attending on Tuesday night or Thursday night, I'll keep up with it. And I've got lots of people that's already qualified, and you keep coming, you attend all the classes. Even if you're doubling up, that'll help you earn the certificates, and I'm glad to keep up with it for all of you. Some people are just going the extra mile. Let me mention how proud I am of you. Nicole in Clinton has got a lot going on. She does a lot on social media. I'm looking forward to hearing from her more about how she's going to get her business started. She has indicated to me she's looking forward to sending me information. Sam, good to hear from you today with the information you sent. I'll try to check it all out and we'll be in touch with you tomorrow. So it's good to have you on board as well. But Nicole's got a great slogan, I can and I will. So she's determined to do good things for a lot of people. Robbie James gets a big salute, and proud of Robbie. He was chosen in a stiff competition to become one of Goldman Sachs' 10,000 small businesses to get a special training program. Robbie said that he would share all the information he could with us that he learns there, so take that Goldman Sachs information to help apply it right here at the Academy. Tracy, good to have you with us tonight. Thank you for what you're doing, your work that you're working towards, and your post on Facebook. I'm looking forward to getting lots more information from you to see how we can help you promote your business. Your 90-day coaching program is intriguing and helping to help women, so let us know how we can help you move forward with that. Great smile. Thanks for sharing. Sarita, appreciate all that you're doing and continue to do. Look forward to continue working with you. And Sherry, we're still pulling for you and looking forward to getting more information on your book. Kevin, you've been very loyal. Look forward to helping you and looking forward to maybe working. Kevin mentioned earlier or early in the week that, or last week, that we might be able to get us some type of a meeting started where it's not a presentation, but just enjoy it, invite people to come and sign in, turn the videos on, and just have a group chat, roundtable discussion for anyone that would like to join us. So that may be something we're working on and put together. It sounds like a lot of fun to me, and I hope we can make that work. Lynette, up in Swinging Entertainer this week on Facebook, she's released several really nice videos. Please check Lynette Barber out on Facebook, and if you're planning a reunion or a gathering where you might need some good jazz music, soul music, gospel music, Lynette's the lady. She's got quite a voice and even a better personality, so check her out on Facebook and give her a chance. And Jelly in Hall River is doing a great job teaching other folks how to do nails and aesthetics, and she's getting her business up and started. Can't wait to hear about her new location that she's working on. So please find me on Facebook. Let's connect. I've found several of you. You know, sometimes it's hard to find someone. So if you find me, then I can get back to you. Just type in Anthony Stephen Carver, and then look for the blue sky and sunshine in the background, and maybe you can connect up real quick, and we can start promoting each other's businesses together. We also have a web page of Facebook just called The Academy. Several of you can see your pretty faces up here right now, and the more information you send to me, the more I can share with the rest of the world and maybe help get your business a few more customers. My job is to be assertive and to motivate. I'll continue to do that as we move through the night and the rest of our course. Quotes to remember. Let's go through. And Walt Disney said we need to stop talking about it and start doing. Stop talking and start doing. I'm so proud of most of y'all that are really indicating that you're working hard to get to your next step. Michael said there's not really a finish line. We just have mile markers that we get to. And that's all about keeping our business up and running and rolling. I certainly agree with that. What is the next mile marker that you need to get to? So as you're setting your priorities each day, think about this. And what are the things that you need to do to get to that next mile marker? That's the way we can move forward together. Bill Gates said we'll learn a lot more from unhappy customers than we do from happy customers, and he's certainly right. I'll hook in there with Bill and say, if you can turn an unhappy customer into one that is satisfied, then you'll probably have a raving fan customer. So it's certainly worth the effort to hear what people are saying, make the adjustments we need to make to keep those customers happy. Nelson Boswell gave us a little tidbit that I like to repeat often. I've done this through the years in my 66 years in businesses with my employees, mainly my service-oriented folks and my sales people and people at the parts counters, is I keep trying to remind them whatever that customer is here to get, you make sure he leaves here with a little bit more. Sometimes that means we're going to go after an upsell, which helps profits, of course. But more than that, giving them more than they expect. The key word is giving them, not selling them, but giving them more than they expect. Means that you're going to make an extra effort to listen, to hear what people are saying, to show them that they're important, and to make them, without any doubt, when they leave your presence, want to come back. And you do that by giving them just a little bit more than they expect. Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta and Facebook, he advises us that the biggest risk we'll ever take is not taking any risk. So we have to move forward and take those risks if we hope to stay in business. Well, that herbal tea don't taste all that good to me. Jenny Romelli, she says that, your value is not in what you know. People don't really care how much you know, but your value in what you share. People really do care about how much you care for other folks. And you show that every way that you can as you're communicating and building your relationships. People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. It's a good saying to keep reminding ourselves about that. So my job is to encourage you to find the endurance to stay in there, whether you got a voice or not. You hang in there and you do what you need to do. We stay in the game and we make it happen. Every day that we can stay in the game, we learn a new trick, a new way to have less stress and make more money. So that's what it is. So those of you that are new with us tonight, I want to share with you a comment that I'll make often and will continue to do it. We all want a business that makes it for the long haul, for the long term. And one of the best things that we can do to ensure that we make it for the long term is to look at our product mix, look at our different profit centers and determine, do we have the two things that people buy? People buy things they want, and people buy things they need. And we need to consider what we're offering to the public to make sure we have a good mix, a good diversified mix of things that people need and things that people want. Hold on to that, repeat it to yourself, make it apply to what you're doing. Just a little story now that I think applies in so many ways to entrepreneurship, especially with startup entrepreneurship. And this is a true story out of South America, the continent of South America, and South Africa. South Africa is the southernmost country in Africa, now called a lot of different names, but that's what it was. And let's refer back to the year 1849. That's a long time ago. And in 1849, across Africa and South Africa and across America, people were all excited about precious metals, about mining and determining how these metals are out there, sometimes just to pick up off the ground or to do a little bit of mining and become a billionaire or millionaire instantly without very little work and trouble. So generally all across the world, people started looking for ways to get rich quick. In America in 1849, it was all about gold. You hear the term the 49ers, like the San Francisco 49ers, that's referring to the gold rush in 1849 when a lot of people on the East Coast went to the West Coast to try to find riches in the term of gold. Our government promoted that, knowing that everybody wasn't going to become rich, because our government wanted people to move from the East out West so we could populate in statehood, California, and other Western states. But this was going on all around in this time of the world. And there was a fellow in South Africa named Ali Hafid, and Ali had a beautiful ranch a large ranch in South Africa. He had lots of animals, grows vegetables, a really good farm. The soil wasn't all that good, but he was a good farmer and made a living for himself and his family, and they had a good future there. But he was aggressive and ambitious, and he heard all this talk about people finding and mining diamonds was the big thing. It wasn't gold, but it was diamonds in South Africa. And he got the bug. He drank the juice, and he had to go become a really rich man by getting in the diamond business. So for year after year, he left his farm, let it go down, while he ran all over the countryside looking for a strike with diamonds. He was so obsessed with it that after a number of years, his farm had gone to pot, and he had gone into bankruptcy. He was depressed and actually jumped in a river and committed suicide. True story. Jumped in the river, committed suicide. The people that bought his farm, his ranch, a short time after that, found a rock and carried it to an assayer and determined that the rock that they found out on the ground was a diamond. A matter of fact, it was one of the largest diamonds that has ever been found, and they called it the Kimberley diamond. And further looking around the whole farm, that whole ranch that Allie had owned, was indeed acres of diamonds. It was the biggest diamond find in the history of Africa, maybe in the history of the world. And this is a today picture of that ranch where it's been mined all over and continues to be mining there. And the original owner of it left it to go elsewhere to find riches. What's the moral of the story, maybe? What is the deal? Because they're still digging big diamonds there. The rancher left acres of diamonds to go searching somewhere else. Where the lesson of the story is, maybe what we're looking for is really close, maybe right under our feet. And before we go searching far and wide for different get rich quick schemes, we should check out the opportunities that are available to us really nearby. This story was told by Earl Nightingale, a Baptist preacher and missionary, told his stories all over the world, and indeed was a great public speaker and an inspirational person who helped a lot of people. He took the money that he made giving these speeches and founded Temple University up in New England. So if you ever heard of Temple University, link that up now with Earl Nightingale. If you have a chance to listen to any of Earl Nightingale's inspirational books, they're really good. That's where I heard this story in one of his cassette tape programs, and it made a major impact on my life in some days that I was very much depressed, not thinking I could make it in business, kind of having my own little pity party after my father had passed away. But Earl Nightingale's books, his inspiration, and mainly the story about acres and diamonds, really helped me turn my thinking around and be appreciative for opportunities I had to move forward. Give it some thought and share this little story wherever you think is appropriate with your loved ones or people that are maybe looking for those greener pastures and really they got all the opportunity they need right here. Might save a lot of people a lot of grief and help them out like Mr. Nightingale certainly helped me. I'm glad to share that with you, and if there's more in your study guides that I'm emailing to you about that. Acres of Diamonds, the Kimberley Diamond story. Quite a story. We don't have a business if we don't have some cash to keep it flowing, right? We don't have a business if we can't pay ourselves and buy groceries and do all the things we do. If we don't have any money, then we can't buy things to sell to other people. So it's a circle. It's a continuing circle. And we want to be, as business owners, people who know that this spigot of cash flow needs to remain open and needs to keep flowing, especially with startup business. You know, most of us here tonight are with startup businesses, so that's where we're going to be coming from. But in addition to this cash flow, it all needs to flow into a point that we understand funding and fundraising and what are the documents and the methods that we can do in business to stay alive, to keep it moving forward. So my purpose tonight, and if you'll hang with me, and I appreciate you doing it, is to give you some basic fundamentals that when this this program is over tonight, you will have some meat and potatoes in your pot to hang on to help you keep that cash flow. Mainly, in my opinion, there's 5 key factors to make cash flow keep working. Very simple, but very much the truth. You have to maintain an awareness. It needs to be part of your psychic as a business person, as an entrepreneur, to have an awareness of how much money you got, how much is available to you now, how much will you probably need down the road, and that is called forecasting. And where are places that you can find additional funds if an emergency or an opportunity comes up? A constant awareness. You have to be comfortable in the fact that, yes, I've got some reserves. I've got some spare energy, some spare money, some spare places I can get money so that when those unexpected expenses come, and they are coming, I can dodge the bullet and stay in business. So what are you doing about having some reserve funds? And let me tell you, I've been there. I've been right where you are possibly. I know how hard that is to make happen and how easy it is to say. But I don't want to talk to you tonight about some ways that maybe you hadn't thought about to help you find that reserve capacity. The skill of forecasting into the future for future payments is really big time important. Forecasting will teach us that we need to pigeonhole, to set aside certain indefinite amounts of money so that we can make payments that we know are coming due. Maybe inexperience and just not having a clue how to go about this is a big part of it. So forecasting is a trait that I want you to own and to feel good about. And next week we'll focus on that skill. Some people will say, well, if I get in a bind, I'll just borrow some more money. Or if I get in a bind, I'll use up some savings. I've got some reserves. If I get in a bind, I'm going to reach back and take advantage of those reserves I've got. I want to tell you that does not need to be the first thing you think about. To make it for the long term, when you see a tight place around the corner, then what you want to think about first is how can I make more sales? How can I earn more profits to pay my bills, to have the cash flow I need? Not the first thing you think about is how can I go borrow some more money? It's a lot easier to sign your name if you got a credit line, maybe, than it is to go out and knock on doors and make sales and generate profit. But my friend, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. It's having that energy and vision to know, hey, Steve-O, you need to get on out there and sell some stuff. You got some bills to pay. And that's a lot better than writing bad checks or using up credit lines. Sell, sell, sell. Keep that cash flow coming in. And when you do sell it, lastly, make sure that your business and your business method and strategies are all about collecting the money when it's due and setting those due dates now. Don't pretend to be a banker. Don't pretend that you've got abundant credit, therefore you can extend credit to customers, because you probably don't. And indeed, if you do start extending credit to customers, you better have the documents to back it up with teeth in them so you'll know how to collect your money. Later on, I will show you how important that is when we talk about promissory notes. So collecting that money is key. Number 6, on a 5-part plan, number 6 is plan, don't panic. Plan, don't panic. The very minute you start panicking, that's when you start making bad decisions, okay? Now, I've sent you a study guide that digs into how to accelerate cash flow in your business. This is well written by me and AI that summarizes it. And I want to encourage you to save this study guide, because down the road, maybe right around the next corner, or maybe a while out, this is a document that you and I can go back to on a regular basis, skim over it, read it, reinvigorate ourselves with the knowledge about the things we can do to protect our cash flow. That's why I wrote this document, so you have it for the long haul. We'll cover most of the points in it here tonight. But when you implement these strategies, what you're going to do is reduce the risk, big time, of having uncollectible payments. So that's why I offer that. The question some of you may be asking is, well, I don't need some extra money to make this business really get up and go. And we all think that is the truth, and I tend to agree with it. But most of the time, this is not as big an obstacle as maybe it seems to be. Indeed, if you do the budget and the business plan, and then we look at the ways that we can raise parts of this money one step at a time to achieve the steps as we go. Breaking it down into one step at a time and paying for them as they go is something worth doing. Some people have said to me through the years, well, Steve, should I just wait and wait till I can save up enough money to buy what I need to start my business, to get the trucks or the equipment I need to get my business started? And I have to say to them, probably not, because you need a certain amount of capital, a certain amount of equipment, things to sell, and sometimes there has to be that inflow of cash up front to get the ball rolling. It's common sense. And if you wait till you can save up all that money to do that, you may never get there. You may never start. And I've seen that happen for many a time. But if you go into debt, knowing the possibility of what this debt can produce for you, that the debt is going to produce income to help pay itself off and then profits, then that's business. And that's good debt to go into. But we do it very carefully. And I'll try to help you with that tonight as much as we can. Where can we find the money? Well, we all want a helping hand. It would be just so nice if we could just hold our hand out, and somebody just fill it up with money for us, and we can bring that back, keep getting that money free. Just hold our hands out. That's all we have to do. Well, I buy lottery tickets, and I always got at least one lottery ticket. So that's probably the closest I'm going to get to getting somebody to give me free money. And after buying tickets all these years, it ain't free. But the helping hand that you and I need are those that are at the ends of our own arm. We can get help from other folks, but it's our initiative that's going to start making it happen. We got to be willing to go palms up, just like we're praying. Palms up, help me find what I need to do or how to go about doing it. And together, hopefully, we all can make that work. I don't want to overemphasize this, but I do want you to know how serious I am that the small business centers that sponsor these programs are indeed there to help you figure out the best ways to find money for your business. Each center knows the most worthy lenders in the area, the ones that are the most generous, maybe angel investors or maybe outfits that's got some grants that can help you. So If you are not in touch with your small business center, I want to tell you to change that. Be in touch with them. Let them know who you are, where you are, what you're up to, what you need, how they can help you, and they'll do it. So if you're not, now we're being sponsored tonight by the Small Business Center over in Kenansville. If you're not in that general area but somewhere else in the state and want me to give you a hand in getting in touch with your small business center, I'll be glad to do that. Just give me a note over in chat, and I'll be glad to tell me your town, your business, how to get in touch with you, and then I'll let you know who to contact in the small business center near you, and they're just sitting there waiting for you to contact them. Okay, so let's try to make that appointment and make it happen. Just like in a poker game, we're all dealt a hand. Some of us get really good hands, like this royal flush up here. The only way I get that is to pick and choose the cards as they come out. Most of us get a pair or maybe a straight or something like that. Okay, but the key with entrepreneurship is not necessarily the strength of the cards. It's the strength that you have in forecasting, negotiating, and motivating, and making it work. Your skill sets have everything to do with your possibilities to go forward to a business that lasts. So I'm kind of summing this up, for this is new content in this class. Summing it up under the umbrella, we're building a financial foundation tonight. That's what our logic is. And if we've got a good foundation, then we don't have to be worried and stressed about whether or not it can last or not. So cash flow and funding is a major part of that, no doubt. I think I should a detailed study guide on the different things about cash flow and funding that can help you. We don't break it down later in the program tonight, but you've got a really good study guide that you can take on your own, make notes on it, and make it happen for you. I need, all the time, a real clear roadmap on how to manage our financing if we want to survive. Now, I don't want to be overcritical here or try to scare anybody, but survival and cash flow go together. Survival and managing your financing go together. The word bankruptcy and failure, going down the tubes, putting the business in the ground, how you want to cover it, generally adds up to someone did not have a roadmap to help them get to where they wanted to be. And my friends, that's what I'm trying to give to you tonight. We started this program a number of classes ago, 5 classes ago. Each class connecting the dots as we said we would, and we're going to continue to do that all the way to the end of the course, is helping you set the priorities to have a foundation, solid financial foundation. First of all, we got to get a mindset where we're thinking about it all the time. 2, we need to create a budget. We need to have a business plan with projections giving us an idea how much income's coming in and what the expenses are going out. We need to know that our marketing plan is encouraging us to follow up with our raving fan customers to make sure they're 100% satisfied and they keep feeding business to us. That process of feeding business to us is cash flow. And then keeping fresh bait in the water, as we talked about it, keeping constant promotions going out, meaning that we've got a flow of information going out about what we got for sale so that we have a flow of cash coming back in. It's just always connecting the dots in that way. And if any one of these blocks is not fulfilled, the plan probably won't work. So tonight, I want you to be mastering, not just thinking about, but committing in your own mind, mastering the concept of cash flowing different funding methods and tools and strategies, and knowing that this is a daily money management habits. We can have good habits and habits that aren't so good, doesn't hurt us. But if we have the mindset to set our priorities, and I've used that word a lot now, having the priorities, because I've come to believe that maybe one of the best tools I can give you through this course is for you to really understand how magnificently powerful setting these daily priorities can be for you, and how it can really help you really boost the progress your company is making. In general, are grants available? Is there free money out there for you? I got to tell you, not much, if any, but some. Now, that's a politician type answer if I were to try to give one, but I'm not trying to be smart here. There's very few grants available to small business, especially brand new businesses. Even with all these Hurricane Helene discussions about grants for businesses going on, that's mostly everything for businesses that have been in business for at least 2 years. So for startup businesses, grant money is really tight. But there are some. And different organizations, different groups, different counties, different cities work towards seeing that these things are available. Your small business center in the individual areas know about them. That's where you can go and find out if indeed anyone in your area is offering grants. So that's, again, why the small business centers are so important. Grants are almost always available for nonprofits. So I mentioned this in that maybe you've been thinking that you wanted to have a for-profit business, but the nature of it, and if you're going to need grants to operate, maybe you need to revisit that and see if going up as a nonprofit status might be better for you. Okay? And the Small Business Center, and I've got information I can send to you. If that seems to be the case, let's talk about that. Now, I mentioned that, and then I'm noticing what several of you are doing, like Tracy, no doubt about what I'm kind of feeling like you're talking about doing business-wise, and possibly even Sherry, what you're doing, your work is all about helping people. So maybe a discussion needs to be had in that is what you're doing maybe better qualified as a nonprofit? And if it is, your direction in fundraising and getting started might be totally different than it is now. But as a profit business, and you do meet special considerations, then indeed you may qualify for a loan. And the word may is really important. I don't want to give you any false hope whatsoever, any false hope at all, that you can take a small business plan, a new business, and go to a lender and automatically or with ease attain a small business loan. There's one big or two big factors that's going to keep that from happening, maybe three. Number three, the lending officer is interested in keeping his or her job, of course. They love their job. They want to keep it just like you or I want. And the best way they can lose their job is to make a loan that gets upside down and the bank loses money. And that's going to be a bad reflection on them. The second factor is that most small business people starting new businesses haven't been in business before and therefore lack the experience to convince a banker that they can make it work. And but number one, the history of small businesses, brand new ones, in failing and going out of business early, from 3 to 5 years, so many new businesses go down the tubes, make a loan officer at a bank looking at your request for a 5, 10, or 15-year loan makes him or her very nervous in thinking about loaning you long-term money, knowing that brand new businesses have a bad history of going out of business before they ever get to pay it back. So those factors are stacked up against us now. The odds are against us. But we're not going to let the odds stop us. I'll tell you at the end of the story tonight, we've got a good story about the odds. But certain considerations can turn those odds around. Number one is credit worthiness. If you've got a history of borrowing and paying back money, that's a big step in the right direction. If you're making a down payment on your business, you're investing money of your own, a sizable amount of money of your own, then the banker will say, well, if they're willing to invest in their business, maybe I can. But if they're not, why should I? Makes sense. The term there we use is, are you willing to put skin in the game? Skin in the game. Next, maybe you've got collateral that you can offer. In other words, maybe you've got property that you can say to the banker, I'll give this as extra security. So if the loan goes bad, then you've got this extra security that you can sell or take to recover any loss that you might have. Those are all pretty good reasons that maybe they might decide to loan you money. And lastly, maybe you've got a co-signer. Maybe you've got a partner or someone that would be willing to be an investor as a co-signer in your business that would sign the loan documents and put their name on the line along with yours to guarantee that loan. If any of those factors are important, all of those factors can apply, then your chances of getting a loan skyrocket upward. However, very seldom in my history, I know that is unlikely. So, having helped several hundreds of people start businesses through the years, I know there's other ways to approach it. And I don't mention all those that I can think of tonight. Maybe to help you. The borrower, in any situation, going to a lending institution or not, people want to know that you've got a wide grasp of related to the business loan. What are you going to do with the money? Do you actually need this amount and not that amount? And how are you going to connect all the dots once you get it? You don't want to borrow too much. You don't want to borrow too little. You need that just right amount. How can you determine what that is? Your budget and your business plan. How well are you prepared to sell yourself? If small business owners talking to lenders have to sell yourself as well as your business plan. Sometimes this takes practice, and sometimes maybe you're totally not ready. And that's not anything you need to be ashamed of, but you do need to recognize it if you're not totally ready to sell your business to someone, to make them believe in you and your products. Then that needs your attention, because you got to do it. Now you're selling to the banker maybe, but tomorrow you're going to be selling to your customers. And having this base of self-confidence is everything to do with how well financially you're going to be able to get funded. It's important that you know that just because you're borrowing money or getting money for a business doesn't mean that you're off the hook as an individual. As the owner of a company, someone that might be borrowing money on behalf of the company, and if your loan is approved, when you go sign for it, you're going to sign 2 different times. The first time you're going to sign as Sherry McQuarrie, president of a certain company. And then right under that signature under Sherry, there'll be a place for Sherry to sign as an individual. Yeah. Every Every loan is going to have a personal guarantee on it. And this is where you obligate whatever you may own. Your dog, your toothbrush, your house, your car, any land, any CDs. When the lender gets a personal guarantee from you, then you're tied to it. So going into bankruptcy as a business, thinking I can do that and I'll be home free, that may be true for billionaires who do it all the time to dodge debts. But it's never true for folks in our situation as small businesses just getting started. We need to make it. We need to be determined to make it and make sure we got a plan to do it. And how do we do that? Make sure we're ready to connect all the dots that we're talking about. Make sure we understand that there are risks involved, and we're going to cover our risk as best we can with every risk management tool available to us. An important way to start that process is for you to consider what you're good at, what business skills you have now that you feel like do not need honing, do not need enhancing. But just as important is to be honest with ourselves, what business skills do we need to improve on, enhance, own? I'm covering the ones that I think are most important. Selling, business management, forecasting, budgeting. Those are big key factors. And then get into marketing and how to put together a long-term marketing plan for the long haul. So stay with our programs. After we finish this series in October, we're going to move right into another course of study called Staying in Business for the Long Haul. That's an advanced type course that digs deeper into what we're talking about right now. So, do you need a business plan and a marketing plan? You better believe it. Again, your small business center and small business directors can help you move in that direction. Let's have a little fun now. Where are you going to get that money? Maybe I can give you some ideas. Maybe you got a piggy bank that's loaded and you can go for it. Maybe you got a great big piggy bank that'll help you get started. Maybe you got a favorite aunt like my Aunt Myrtle used to be that kept all her extra cash in the freezer. She called it her cold cash. And when she would loan us, we'd say, "Could I borrow some money from the freezer to go get us some ice cream or something?" She'd say, "Sure," but we knew it wasn't a loan. That's just where she kept her cold cash to help with expenses with the grant when the nieces and nephews were there when we were at the beach. She'd use that cold cash for special events. Maybe you got a loved one or a grandparent that keeps their money out in the backyard in mason jars. You may say, "How silly is that? Nobody would ever do that." Well, my friend, let me tell you, people did do it. And some old folks in my generation still do it. Don't trust the bank. Don't trust the stock market. Give me a mason jar with a good tight lid on it. I'll put my cash and I'll bury that money where only I know where it's at. I know this is true because when my dad started our business in 1959, we didn't have any extra money. He was able to borrow $3,000 cash from my grandmother Carver. She went out in the yard and dug up a couple of mason jars and came back with $3,000 cash on dirty, dusty money. My dad took that $3,000 with two partners paying in $3,000 each for a total of $9,000 and started Carver Equipment Company in 1959 in Dunn, North Carolina. Today, to start that business would probably cost in the $4 million minimum range. So a lot of difference in $9,000 and $4 million. Times are different and changed, I know. But one thing hasn't changed. You may have loved ones or people you know that might lend you money that have money buried or hidden somewhere that they might consider loaning to you or giving to you, but loaning to you to get your business started. Don't consider that a no-starter because if you think about it, it may exist. It may be there. You'd be surprised how many people have told me that this type of funding is how they got their business started, just like our business was. All through the woods, all along the fence line, back in the barn, in the garage, there are things that people will buy. And I've had lots of entrepreneurs just do a 3, 5, 6 month effort to collect items and resell them to create some cash flow. $100 here, $300 there, $50 over there. You keep doing it, you save that money, you set it aside. Before you know it, you got several $1,000s. Most businesses that people start from these classes are starting with $3,000 to $6,000. So having a fundraising type effort sometimes can get your business started without debt. Maybe it's on four-wheelers or motorcycle parts or trailers or this or that. You may know folks that will give you stuff to sell, or to say if you sell it, we'll split it. Whatever the barter arrangements you make, look for ways to sell to come up with the money that you need. Several folks through the years have done plate sales, sold food, plate sales, to raise money to get their business started. This is a wonderful thing to do. And the beauty of it is, in this process, not only can you raise the money you need, but start creating a group of people that are encouraging you and your business to move forward. These people may be your very first raving fan customers. They may be your very first supported family members. But the key here is you have to show the initiative, that you're willing to work for it. And then you're also showing the initiative that you really appreciate some help. Show the love, spread it around. It's easy to put together spaghetti dinners, chicken dinners, barbecue dinners. If you are planning on running a business, putting together a plate sale is a drop in the bucket. This is an actual photograph about, now I guess 15 years old, of the chicken plate sale over in the northeast corner of the state, where the entrepreneurs raise money to start their business. This is a group of 3 ladies. They indeed invited their church to participate with them. 50% of the funds went to the church, 50% to the new business. And indeed, in one afternoon, after about a 60-day planning plate sale period, the business owners raised almost $5,000 in cash. The church raised an equal amount. So people might say, I don't want to do this because I don't want to compete with the Scouts or the church or the Legion or the VFW or the Shriners. I don't want to be out here pretending I'm a nonprofit. Get past that. You don't have to participate with anyone. You just do your thing. You're raising money to start your business. But indeed, if you do invite some other group to join with you in the effort, you double your ability to sell tickets, and you double your ability to get help, and you double your ability to make a lot more money. Because the rest of the story is when you start generating the plate sales, then you're going to have people that will offer to you contributions for paper products, for the meat, for the pigs, maybe desserts, maybe auction items. It just keeps going and going and going as you think about it. How can you organize this? Well, I'm pleased to tell you that in 50 years I've been involved in a lot of fundraising for a lot of folks. And many years ago I developed a plan that I can share with people or help organize when we're getting ready to do one. And I call it the dozen doers. Dozen meaning 12, doers meaning people that are doing things. And the key to this plan is that you are not named as a participant. You are the overseer. And what this is, to give you the concept is, I want to start a new business. Let me tell you about it. I'm excited. I'd appreciate your feedback, and I really need your help. Now, my friend, I'm challenging you to say that if you can't find a dozen friends then maybe you need to relook at what you're thinking about doing. Or you need to start being a whole lot more friendly, because you're going to need people to help you in any small business that you're starting out. Don't think you can do it by yourself. Businesses don't work by themselves. But if you got a dozen doer plan, like I shared with you in your handout in here, you'll pick out people, you'll have people ask them to volunteer to do certain jobs for you. You break it down so nobody's job is too big, but those that are most capable, you can put them in the right spot. And by doing this, every time you recruit someone to help you get your business started, that's another person that's out talking to other people and networking and helping you move it forward. It works. It's worked for many years. There's no telling how many fundraisers have been started out with someone sitting down at a table with this plan in their hand. So I wish you the very best at it. As my dad did, the reality of it is knowing that the lenders may not be open armed to give us money. So that's going to lead us right back to our family and to our friends, people we know, maybe not lending institutions. So I call this little segment family, friends, but I don't want any fools in this mix. I don't want our effort or anything that I say to lead to anyone being disappointed here. So I don't call this family, friends, and fools, because we don't always remember that possibility can exist. The key factor is, if you're going to borrow money from individuals and friends, family, do it as if it's a pure business plan. Have the business documented, the dates all signed, sealed, and delivered. Everyone knows what's going on, what's being lent, when's it going to be paid back, what is the interest going to be, and make sure you're paying back good interest. You're encouraging a family or a friend to take money out of the bank where it's probably making interest money and giving it to, entrusting it to you. It's our obligation as entrepreneurs to accept that gift from them or that money from them and make sure they're repaid with the interest greater than they were going to make it in the bank. In other words, it needs to be a win-win situation. You've got enough confidence in your business, in yourself, to borrow money and notice you can make the money to pay it back plus interest. Paying it back plus interest is saying that I appreciate what you've done for me. Here's the interest. We're glad to do it. And let me tell you, here's the real bell ringer here. Once you pay back the family or the friend as promised and with the interest, then they're going to say to you, well, thank you very much. Do you need some more? You have created a credit source or a credit reference that can be used time and time again, and it indeed will become an asset for you. I want to encourage you not to borrow money from family or friends for more than 1 or 2 years. 1 year ideal, borrow it, pay it back, ask again if you need to, or set it up for 2 years if you think that's best. But the key here is set it up with a promissory note, name the collateral, be on time or pay early, and things will go well, and you'll start creating a financial foundation for your business amongst family and friends. To do this kind of work, we all will use some type of document. The banker uses a document, the car dealer uses documents, the mortgage lender uses a document. And these lending documents are all in one way or another classified as a promissory note. Some people may call them a security agreement or a financing contract, but the basic promissory note is where all lending documents come from that I'm aware of. And this promissory note has been around since medieval times, and it came to us from Europe, and we're using it now. If you go to a banker, a lawyer, certified public accountant, anyone that's dealing with financial transaction, will probably reach in their filing cabinet and pull out a promissory note. Or, of course, in today's world, print a new one off from the internet. But they can just be handwritten out where you explain all the details related to the loan. Everything about the loan is spelled out. Who, where, when, how much, and how it's supposed to happen. And filling in the blanks. In your handout and in this screenshot is showing a promissory note that I did a screenshot on in 2017. Everything in it's still the same today. You change your dates. It covers all the bases. And that's what you want to have in a lending document. So my friends, I'll say to you individually as class members and classmates, you can be on either side of this document. You can be the lender, in other words, you're the person that people are paying back to, or you can be the debtor. So on which side of this document you're on, it's always important that you understand what you're signing, that you understand what you're obligating yourself for and what the dates are, and you understand what's going to happen if you unfulfill your promises. So take the time to understand it. And if you're in a place in your business life where you're getting ready to sign such a document, this is the promissory note. But lease documents and rental documents are very similar. And you don't understand, then stop. Say, give me just a minute. I want to review this with someone that's more familiar with it than I am. And you find someone to talk to or show it to and go for it. Now, I've already told you up front, I'm not a lawyer or an accountant, but I'll be glad to take an initial look at any document you want me to see if I see some flaws, or if I think you need to carry it on to someone else. Your small business centers will do the same thing for you. Find people you trust. Don't just wing it because you think you know it all. I don't know it all, and I've been doing it a long time. Things are changing. So get those extra opinions that you need. The promissory note is the key ingredient for business transaction going and coming. So you've got the note signed, and we're going to talk about documents now. And it's fun to talk about getting money, loaning money, getting the documents, and spending money. But the paying it back, the long haul down the road, paying it back is where the rubber really meets the asphalt, right? So let's take a little time with that. Everything's working good. You're making the money you hope to. You're paying back your loan like you hope to. And there's no problems. Everybody's happy. But life doesn't always work that way. Maybe things got upside down somewhere and you're not able to pay the money back. Or whoever owes you money is not making the payments like they're supposed to. That's sad. And the best thing to do with that, whichever side you're on, is to go to the other party and work out a detail, a compromise, make changes so that this can be completed, maybe as a longer cycle or different payments. Work out a deal. That's a good thing to do. And that new deal would be documented on an amended promissory note. But now let's say one party is just unable to pay or refusing to pay or has gone stubborn or gone south on it. And you find yourself in front of a magistrate or a court of law. And all you have to represent your case is your word in this document. So what are the different levels of power or teeth that you have in the documents to make sure that you prevail and you get the money that you're owed if you end up in that bad situation? And maybe this is only 1 in 20. I'll put it 1 in 20 chance in new business situations. But it is 1 in 20. And 1 in 20 is not that good odds. So here I am in front of the judge or the magistrate, and I'm say this person owes me some money, and here's my document to prove it. So it's got their signature on it and your signature on it and a date. And they say they didn't sign that. somebody signed their name to it. Well, the magistrate or judge is going to look at them and say, what have you got to prove anything different? You got nothing. And then it's a he said, she said, and nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get paid. So what can we do to strengthen our documents? And this is important listening now for the rest of your business life. And the strengthening of the document is called perfecting your lien, perfecting your ability to get paid in case things go south. First thing you can do to strengthen your document is have the signatures witnessed. That's to say that someone else was in the room and they signed their name on that document saying, I witnessed Steve and David sign this document. And I know both of them because they proved to me who they are. Their identities I feel good about, and I sign it as a witness. Now, the witness is not going to say they know anything about the coming and going of the document itself. They don't know any details about it. But the details they do know is that Steve and David stood before me, and I signed on it. Well, that sounds pretty good, but the other party may say, I didn't sign it. I don't know Steve. I don't know who did that. It's just one of his friends. This is all forgery stuff. And if that witness is not in court and credible, it's a he said, she said again. Let's take it to the next step. Two signatures, witness, but now we bring in a notary public. A notary public is an officer of the court, authorized by the judge, the local judge, to witness papers in a legal way. And the notary, when they go a little deeper to make sure they know who these people are, check out their identities. And when they take their seal and put it on that document as a notary public, that document becomes a legal court document because they are an officer of the court, and it carries a lot of weight because when someone stands up then and says, that notary's lying, I didn't know them, I'd never seen them before in my life, then they know that that's probably a lie because notaries take their work very, very seriously, and they're supposed to. So that really perfects your lien up to a really good point, okay? That's important. Notaries are valuable. And maybe some of you are aspiring to become notary publics, and that's a good thing to do because you can get paid for your service, and it opens up business opportunities for you possibly. But now you really need to pay attention. We get a cup of this herbal tea. Things are really messy now, and the people are not paying you, or you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting out of this document. And it has gone all the way to the point of the property has been repossessed, it's been sold, and the value of it now is sitting on the judge's desk. Whatever it was, car, house, building, tractor, transfer truck, inventory, business documents. And it's been determined that $20,000 was the value of these items that you have a lien on. And that money is there. Now, in reality here, the judge, the lawyer, and the people, the auctioneers, they're going to take a big bite out of that $20,000. But I'm just going to say there's $20,000 left. And you have a loan, a lien on that property for $10,000. And you find out that other people have liens on that property too. 10,000 here, 10,000 there, 20,000 over there. Lots of people have liens on that property, and they're documented and they're notarized. and they're all perfected. So most folks would think that the judge would look at all the liens, add it up, and figure out the percentage that everyone would get based on the amount of their lien. But my friend, here's your lesson. It don't work that way. Percentages don't work that way with the judges. The judges and the magistrate are going to consider on what date did you perfect your lien and have it filed with the Register of Deeds in the county where the transaction took place. What date did you perfect your lien? And if your lien was perfected a day or an hour earlier than mine, then I'm going to get full consideration for reimbursement, and you're going to get whatever's left. So if I had a lien for $20,000 on that item, and $20,000 is all the money that's available, and my date was perfected earlier than everyone else's, I'll get the $20,000, and everybody else will get nothing. Doesn't seem quite fair, does it? But that's the way it is. So here's the main lesson. When you're dealing with legal documents, whatever class or type they are, and your name's on the line, or possibly responsibility about payments or receiving property, you want to make sure they're well documented, perfected, and filed at the courthouse. The failure to file at the courthouse may negate everything that you've done. They make everything else not count because you didn't, first of all, check to make sure there wasn't a lien already filed on that property before you get there. So sometimes you don't want to do a deal until you have checked out the validity that this property is free and clear. You may be borrowing money on something that other people already have liens on. And if that's the case and they come to collect, you can't do a thing about it. Okay, remember that. It's so important. Last lesson. You don't want to depend on your lawyer to file the claims at the courthouse. They screw up sometimes and they don't do it. They may charge you to do it, but it was all hidden in the fine print. You can't prove this or that. We assume that when you hire a lawyer to handle your paperwork, start to finish, that includes the necessary legal filings. We can't assume that anymore. You must not do it. You have to follow up on it yourself. I know this to be true because I had a lawyer not take care of filing some papers for me. It's worth about $200,000 to me. Pretty big deal. Maybe I could have gone after a malpractice, but in a small town, you don't want to do that for your business reputation. So, but the lesson's been learned. I paid the price for it. You don't have to pay it again. Just make note of that. Let's talk about maybe you're looking for someone else to help you launch the business. Maybe you're thinking about taking on a partner, looking for an investor, and that's a good thing. That is a way that a lot of people can get their businesses up and running without having to go to the lending institution. If that's where you're headed, you got to know there's pitfalls in that. Make sure you know these people well. Make sure you know their financial background. Make sure you know if they've done anything like this in the past and how that worked out. Sometimes you actually have to talk with someone and snoop around a little bit or even hire someone to check out someone's business reputation in these lines. I've seen more than 6 deals that got right up to the closing. And one of the investors found out the other investor they were working with was a crook. it had been here before and had done this and had tricked people out of a lot of money. It's pretty sad, but still, I'm glad they found it out at the last minute. Lots of places to borrow money. Know all of them that are available to you. Community banks, that's your smaller banks. Large commercial banks, credit unions, government agencies, private organizations, and angel investors. That's your menu of possible lenders for you to help you get going. Plus, there's the family and the friends. The family and the friends don't always come into the angel investors category. They're pretty much just individuals, but angel investors are professionals, people who have deep pockets. Usually you can find them on the board of directors at the different banks, and they're willing to help. But know it now that angel investors will generally want to have a piece of the pie for the money. They'll want to have some stock. They'll want to have some stay in the way the business runs. We're going to get back to the documents now. Whoever you're dealing with, they don't have a document like that promissory note. And you must read every detail because that's where the devil's at. No one pays a lawyer to prepare a document that they don't make sure the lawyer looks after their interests first. And if you're paying for the lawyer to prepare the document, that's what I expect him to do for you too. That means every document needs to be looked at by the other party with a fine-tooth comb. Okay? Just don't take for granted, because a real good-looking, good reputation, long time in businessman like Steve Carver is going to have a lawyer prepare a document for me and you to sign that I don't make sure that my interests are well covered in that document. And it's your responsibility as an entrepreneur, now one that's been given this advice, takes that document and studies it. And if you don't really understand or have done this before, take that document and ask someone else to read over it with you. Doing that is not going to hurt you. Doing that is not going to make a possible lender become mad at you and say, well, forget the deal. If you don't let somebody else read this document, I don't want to do it. If they're doing that, it would be my opinion you need to run from that person. I've encouraged people to look over the document, understand it well. I want to get paid. I don't want anybody to come up and say, well, I didn't understand this or he misrepresented that. No. When you invite somebody to have it checked out by a third party, that's just good business. And that's what good businessmen and women do. The devil will be in the details, and it would set you free. What's the difference in an investor and a partner? An investor is looking for a payday. The investor is looking to be repaid as per the terms of the promissory note. A partner is offering money and investment into your operation, well knowing that if things go well and profits are made, they will share in that profitability. If things don't go well, there may not be a payday coming back for them. All that would have been spelled out in the promissory note or in the loan agreements. The number you want to remember is 51%. You have to maintain 51% ownership of your business to be in control. Maybe you have other stockholders that you bought in or other people that have invested. 10% here, 20% there, 30% over there. And if all the other people's stock adds up to 51%, then they control the business and you do not. So right here, right now, write down in big letters, 51% as your share, and that's what you want to hold on to. But Steve, I can't get 51%. I'm going into business with my cousin, my mama, my brother, and they say it's 50-50 or no way. If it ain't 50-50, it's the highway. I've heard this so many times along the way. And I cringe because I know at some point 50-50 deals turn sour. It may be many, many years down the road, but people die and things have to be settled. But it's the reality that a lot of partnerships are going to be 50-50 or it's never going to work. And lots of 50-50 partnerships do work and have worked for a long time. But here's the two or three things that will make a big difference for you. If you're kind of locked in a situation where it's going to be a 50-50 or nothing, then I want both parties to sign that document that is filed at the courthouse that says several things. First of all, I will not make you an offer I won't take myself. Don't make me a lowball offer for my share of the stock if you're not willing to accept my money for your share of the same amount. That keeps people from taking advantage of folks in trouble. Give me first option on any sale that you have. One partner has to give the other partner first option before anything is ever sold in writing. Okay? Those two things, right by themselves, help take the big waves off the water. They kind of calm the water. It makes it fair for either side. So in a 50-50 situation, that's what you want to do. Good news. Through the years, I've learned that most of the time, the big ticket items that people are trying to finance to get their business started might be a truck or a trailer or a piece of equipment, a backhoe, a forklift, SkyTrack, welding machine, cooking utensils, cooking this. These items, these big ticket items that sometimes people say, well, I got to go to the bank and borrow the money. Lots of times the people that are selling these items will finance them for you or have an in-house financing source that is used to dealing with this stuff. That's what equipment dealers do. That's what so many other businesses do. And maybe you won't have to go to the bank or a lending institution to get the equipment that you need to get your business up and running. So just keep that in mind. This is also where I say to you that oftentimes instead of buying with a regular financing contract the equipment, sometimes you're better off to rent it for a short period of time or to lease it or to do a lease purchase plan. Going into debt, as we talked about earlier, is not putting a good picture on your financial statement. And when you're leasing or renting, only the debt that's due in the next year shows on your financial statement, not for the long term. So you might be leasing a $200,000 truck, transfer truck, but that's not going to show as a $200,000 debt on your financial statement. The money that you owe during the next year does show on that as expenses, immediate expenses due, might be $30,000. So that $30,000 liability is a whole lot easier on your financial statement than a $200,000 long-term debt. So let's weigh that out before you make any big moves. One way to help the cash flow is to do pre-sales. That is to have an arrangement with your customer where they pay you in advance. Then you deliver later the goods or the services later. You give them a good discount. You get the use of the money in the meantime. This is a big deal with lots of different types of companies. And if you think it may work with something you're doing, I'll be glad to discuss it with you, maybe bat around some ideas. However, pre-sales are built on extrinsic trust. I mean, you have to trust someone and know they're financially secure and believe in them before you don't ask them to give you money and then you deliver later. It is the perfect storm for somebody that's crooked to take advantage of someone that's naive. You don't want to be that naive person. The very day you open up, and from there on after, for 60, 70 years, we're always going to be thinking cash flow, We're always going to be looking at what profit centers do I need to add or change? What am I doing today that's growing my business? Did I have a priority today that was related to growing my business? And if not, why? What are the crises that are around the corner? What are those little fires, those little teeny blazes that can explode and turn into a major problem? Always have your eye open for what's the little things that need to be addressed. Exploring our options, cash flow, eliminate bottlenecks. Maybe you got things that you're doing with your inventory, with the way you're collecting your money, that's slowing your cash flow down. Look for any waste that you have or non-productive staff. Cut it out. See how you can stretch those dollars further and better. And is there items around that you can turn into cash? Old items that are trash, junk, or just old inventory that aren't going to make you any money until you are assertive and motivated to the point to go ahead and sell those items, turn them into cash, and then make money with the cash. Most often, the way you're going to solve a cash flow problem is to add a profit center or several profit centers, just like we did back when we did our 101 budgeting. Remember how that we were coming up short $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in our budget plan? Immediately what we had to do was to go back and add profit centers, put us back in black ink. Now, it's a rainy day and things are gloomy, and you're worried about the future of your business. Business has slowed down, orders for some reason cut off like a spigot. And in the best of times, sometimes that'll happen. Monday was a bang-up day and you're looking forward to a great week, but no phone calls after Monday. And you get scared. We all do. Where do you find that helping hand that we talked about earlier? It's your raving fan customers. When things get tight, more promotions, more phone calls, more contact with your raving fan customers will be the instant remedy that will be most likely to help you get cash flow regenerated and started. So we have to have that list, that database of customers that we can constantly go back to help generate orders. And they may not come the first week or the first 2 weeks. And we may have to go through a long dry spell. That means that's why we needed that reserve that we talked about at the beginning. But eventually, when you have things that people need, they got to buy it. And if your raving fan customers know that you have it and you're spreading the word that you're out here and you're hungry and your doors are open, the business will come to you. Just the nature of the game. But you got to have confidence in it, and the plan to make it work. Remember, the banks are out there. They do business every day. I want to tell you right now, in doing business with banks, it's really important that you learn that sometimes it's a lot more important about who you know and not what you know. And making personal contacts and greasing the tracks, as we say, can go a long, long way to helping your loan application get approved. I like to say, find that board of directors member, find out that vice president or president of the bank. Say hello, make sure they know who you are. Make sure if you, after a business loan, that you give them a brief discussion with it. Let them know you're thinking about bringing a plan in for consideration for a loan. Ask if they have any advice. Win their friendship. They need to become a raving fan of you. Because before that application goes to the loan officer, if you have made a personal contact at that institution, someone has already said to that loan officer, look here, Sarita's going to be bringing in an application. Take a look at that and let me know what you think. Nothing illegal, nothing wrong been done, except here's what's happened. Your application, after Sabrina brings it in, will go to the top of the pile instead of the bottom of the pile. because loan officers are interested in making their bosses happy. So they will get faster, better service. Take the time to grease those tires, grease those tracks. Things are going well. You've got a little cash reserve built up, so let's pay off some debts. No, do not pay off your long-term debts with your short-term cash flow. If you do it and you do it often, you'll find yourself broke. So you borrowed that money, you incurred those debts based on they were good debts, they were good liabilities. You stay with the plan, you're going to be able to pay them back. I'd rather you have debt on the books and reserve cash on the books than zero reserves and lower debts. And I don't know of any business person don't think, well, hey, if you've got some reserve funds, that means you're in a position to dodge the bullets of unexpected expenses and to take advantage of opportunities. That's where you want to be. About cash flow now, sometimes, almost always, the best answer is to add profit centers. Maybe look at some hobbies that you're involved in and see if you can take a hobby, your hobby or maybe somebody else's hobby, and turn it into an additional profit center for yourself. Everything related to pets nowadays seems to be doing well. Some people use their chainsaws to cut our artworks. Some water. Private label specialty foods is a really good way to create some good cash flow building material. We have suppliers in this area that you can get about 200 different items from, triple your money, have about a 2-year shelf life with very little risk. If you don't sell it, eat it yourself. But these are good sellable items. If you have any interest in this type of merchandising or adding to your present product line, let me know. I'll help you. Our business cash flow is almost directly related to how well are you doing with your promotions. And when you slack off on those promotions, you will immediately see your sales slack off as well. So you have to stay with it. There's a discipline to it. And you want to have promotions for each of your profit centers. I think my voice is going to make it just long enough. Our profit centers will work if we got targeted customer groups that we talked about last week. Do you have that? Are you working towards taking advantage of the different profit centers for the different customer groups? We can't be all things to all people. We have to focus on our best opportunity to make those sales. Selling one item at a time to one customer at a time may indeed help you have a good day. But for you to thrive and have multiple sales, multiple profits that you can stack and not have to serve any more actual customers but still make a lot more money, that's a good thing. And by the way, having up sales with by the way sales is something we must remember to keep doing. The odds are against us. I've already said that, but let me tell you about somebody that dealt with that. Dealt with resilience. Everybody say that word to yourself, resilience, because it goes hand in glove with cash flow. Resilience. The odds are against us. Let me introduce you to Mr. Longfellow. Mr. Longfellow is a Dachshund dog, a little short-legged dog. Everybody loves the little Dachshunds. They're so sweet and active. Mr. Longfellow, of course, named because of his shape, was involved in a race in Savannah, Georgia in 2007 and other years too. But Mr. Longfellow was special because he had been involved in an accident and he didn't have but 3 legs. But his cotton picking owners put him in the race anyway with those 3 legs in 2007. 178 Dachshunds were in that race. 178. Only one was a Mr. Longfellow, and only one just had 3 legs. But he took off. They let him go and started running, and guess who won the race? Mr. Longfellow won that race in 78. He automatically became a newsworthy sensation. Civic groups and inspirational groups, and everybody was so proud of Mr. Longfellow because all the odds were against him, but he won the race and he became quite a celebrity. He was an inspiration for a lot of folks, and he's been an inspiration for me. This is a true story. You can read about it on the internet yourself. I like to promote Mr. Longfellow, and he went around to different nursing homes and rehab facilities and schools to inspire other people about this lesson. Let's all of us take a lesson from Mr. Longfellow. Just because we got 3 legs don't mean we can't win a race. Just got to get out there and run it and have the endurance to see it through. Next week, we're going to get back to these skills: bookkeeping, forecasting, and negotiating. Now, I am not going to try to say to you, I don't teach you to be a bookkeeper next week. I don't give you the fundamentals about it, because you need to know these fundamentals so you can take bookkeeping information to help you design your marketing plan and help you become more profitable, because you better understand the information that the bookkeeper can give you. That's my goal next week. I want to say to you in closing, thank you all for staying with me. I apologize for my weak voice. The old crud got on Norma and I this week. It's good to see so many of you come back, and I appreciate you so much. But I also want to say, and I know this is true, we need to find our inspiration every day. There's days when you don't feel like getting out of bed and you're taking so much medicine you can't get your head off the pillow to set any kind of priorities. Something has to change, right? So find a way to get that inspiration to get up and make it happen. I was able to find some herbal tea today that helped me get here and talk with you guys tonight. Did a lot of praying this week. I've got a lot of family and loved ones in the hospital really suffering. I hope that Jesus Christ will be in the rooms with them and reach down and touch them and lift them up to less pain and more peace. We take it one day at a time in this life. In every business, we take it one day at a time, and in every life we do. So be still and know you don't have to carry this burden by yourself. There are lots of friends right here in this classroom with you guys. Even though we're online, I can feel the passion that y'all have for each other, for me, and I appreciate it, the encouragement, and I hope you can feel it going right back at you. We do want you to succeed and to have a happy life and a good financial base. Hopefully some tips we talked about tonight will stick, and you'll hang on to those, and I'll put all this together into a really good plan. Y'all are a great group. So glad to have you stay on board, and I appreciate if you'd like to turn your mic on and share any questions that you might have or comments. We'd love to hear it, and we'll chat a while if you'd like. I'll let y'all do some talking. Go ahead, pick it up.
Steve, this is Sonia. Thank you again for another awesome lesson class. And we'll keep in our prayers and the entire family, because of what you receive, you guys will be healed. And the next will be healed in the mighty name. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Thank you. God bless you, Sonia. Thank you. Hey, Edna, I'm glad to have you back with us tonight. I saw you came on a while back. Any other comments?
Hope you feel better, Steve. Yeah. You and your wife take it easy.
Thank you so much. I'm feeling better already. Y'all inspire me. Thank you. Marquise?
Yeah, I'll say this is my first class with you, and it was really awesome. I just want to thank you and for being here in light of the voice concerns that you have. But I wish you the best and keep you in prayer.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to have you tonight, and hope you'll join us often.
I will.
All right.
Good evening, Mr. Stephen, everyone. I do have a question. As far as with me, with my business, I'm more of a caterer, and I cook a lot, and a lot of people ask me to, cook and cater. My problem is trying to figure out how to price and to charge for catering. Is there any suggestions that you think that I can do to help me out with that?
I can give you some tips off the top of my head, and we can talk in detail depending on the specifics. But folks that are starting their catering business, what I like to tell them is if there's any way that you can have your business based on you preparing the food in bulk and in containers and have the people come and pick it up at your kitchen and carry it home and bring it, and then you get a deposit for the containers and bring them back. If you can base your business on doing that instead of full service, go set up, bring people, bring all the paper products, this, and this, and that, your chances for being profitable really skyrocket. So I don't know what you were headed for, but I do know that somewhere in that mix, if you can not have to do the delivery and the transport, you're going to be a whole lot more profitable.
And that's what I want, but I didn't know if I, what I'm saying, to suggest that to them. If you pick it up, because that's what I really, really want, where I won't have to deliver, that they just I prepare and they pick up.
Yeah.
So yes, sir, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Some people want it all like that, and then you've got options. You've got working out a commercial kitchen or your own home or whatever, but you follow the Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue Guide. Have you ever purchased one of their banquet or tailgate meals from Smithfield's?
No, sir, I have not.
Well, go in and look at their menu. They've got a detailed menu from $200 to $500, and they've got it down pat on how to price the different per serving per person, such as that.
Okay.
You might have a client that comes to you that says, I want it delivered and I want it served. But what you do is you might deliver and serve Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue. And make a whole lot more money than otherwise, or at least get some ideas. But that's a wide field and it's a big deal for a lot of folks now. So let's figure out a way to make money at it.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Where are you located? Where are you located? Clinton?
I'm home based right now. In Clinton.
Yeah. So if you want to deal with the commercial kitchens, then you got a lot of options in the areas, and we can talk about that.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'm interested.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens.
You're welcome. Lasagna, have you got a microphone you can turn on? Ms. DeBose?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Great class.
How are you? Where are you located?
I'm in Fayetteville.
Okay. We got a lot of DeBose family in the Clinton area. Didn't know if you were part of that family or not, but so glad to have you, and I hope you enjoyed the class tonight.
Thank you. I did. Feel well.
Good. Well, I hope you'll come back. Any other conversation?
Yes, Steve. I just wanted to say thank you again. This is the Peterson. I forgot to chime in. But concerning your voice and all of that, because I deal with voice. With your overseas, make sure that you get some ginger. You can use honey, but I like agave. And you can use turmeric with black pepper. and put it in your tea. Make sure that it's hot, but not too hot where you can't stand it, and that'll help with your sickness, and it'll help with bringing your voice back. But I also want to thank you for telling about your wife's testimony. I know that there are other survivors who were in the chat. I'm one as well from thyroid cancer. So I'm thankful for your encouragement, thankful for your inspiration, and setting up prayers for your wife as well.
Well, thank you, Dee, and God bless you. I appreciate that hint. I'll give that a try tonight.
Yes, sir.
So good to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, Steve?
Okay, who's next?
Can you hear me?
Appreciate the notes you sent to me, and we'll get back on that tomorrow. Okay, everybody, then, like John Boy said, good night, everybody, and I hope y'all rest well. Look forward to seeing you next time. We will be online on Thursday night and be talking about bookkeeping, forecasting, negotiating, and then we'll double up on that the following Tuesday. So whichever time or both times, we'd love to have you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.